Yeah, we can start. Oh. 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 Sahana bhavatu, Sahano bhunaktu, Sahaviryam karavavahai, तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। हरिः ॐ श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः। हरिः ॐ ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। जन्माद्यस्य यतोऽन्वयादितरतश्च अर्थेष्वभिज्ञस्वराट् तेने ब्रह्महृदाय आदिकवये मुह्यन्ति यसूरि तेजो वारिमृदां यथा विनिमयो यत्र त्रिसर्गो मृषा धाम्ना स्वेन सदा निरस्तकुहकम् सत्यं परं धीमहि सच्चिदानन्दरूपाय विश्वोत्पत्त्यादिहेतवे तापत्रयविनाशाय श्रीकृष्णाय वयं नुमः। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। Hari Om. 1 minute, I will just. I'll just share it in a minute. Okay. So we were here. Completed this. Vishnu Maya was born. And then the Jata Karma and everything. Rohini had also given birth to a son too, and she was the sister of Yashoda. She was hiding in Gokula to escape the tyranny of Kamsa, who had been harassing all the Yadavas and their women. So the two sisters with their sons were glowing like queens in the midst of gopis. Rohini's son was fair and Yashoda's son was dark. This is where we finished. Should we start, or you have anything to before we start, Bala? We'll start with this now. So now Putana. Nandagopa was one of the vassals of Kamsa, and the time had come when he had to make his annual visit to Mathura to pay his tribute to the treasury, as was the custom. He went to Mathura. Hearing that Nanda had come to Mathura, Vasudeva went to see him. They had been very close friends and they embraced each other with affection like the body welcomes the soul. Vasudeva then said, I heard that you are the father of a son. I am indeed fortunate that I am able to see you and tell you about my happiness at the good fortune that has befallen you. You are very dear to me, and yet it is very rarely that we meet. In this world, those who love each other, those who would love to be together always, are very rarely granted their wish. Now, Nanda is the only one who knows the secret here. Vasudeva is the only one who knows the secret here. That beautiful son born to Nanda is none other than his own, Narayana born to him in reality. We are like pieces of driftwood floating on the surface of the waters of a river which flows and on and on. We meet for a while, and for a while we are together, and then time parts us, and our paths become different. I am happy, however, to know that you are surrounded by your people in Gokula. I hope that my son is well, since you and I are like one soul with two bodies. He is as much my son as yours. How beautifully he is putting these words, see, Vasudeva. Your son is like my son only. Right? So actually, and this, we are like pieces of driftwood floating on the surface of the waters of a river which flows on and on. That wood will sometimes come in touch and sometimes it will go. Another nice metaphor I hear like this, is like we are all visitors in this world. We come here into this world, we live for a while and then we move up. We meet some people for some time during our life, in this life, like visitors. And then we go. If we go to, if that is the attitude with which we live this life, nothing is mine, there's nothing to hold on to, there's nothing to let go of also. Because it's like if I go to some other city as a visitor, I enjoy the space, it is enamoring, it is beautiful, I explore the new place. I am in awe. I see a temple, I see the forts, I see the city, I see the culture, I see people. It's all very nice. But when it is time to leave, I'm ready to leave. And I come back home. What is home? That Hridaya Kuhara Madhye Kevalam Brahma Matram. Come back to that home. So that is why, the beauty of our scriptures is not a killjoy. It is not to say, it's like you live, you explore, you do everything. Just know that you are a guest, you are visiting for some time. We don't go to a 5-star hotel and then hold on to that and say, I will not leave this place. I don't want to leave this place. 5-star hotel, it is so nice. I don't want to leave that place. You have to come back home sometime, isn't it? It's like that.
I think this one more example that Swami quotes. I think it's maybe Ramakrishna Paramahamsa says that. I don't know who. So it is like, say, a cook in a very palatial house. Yeah, she works as a cook for a very long period. Yeah, that everybody considers her, gives her that mother figure, including the whoever, the main person in the house, the whatever you call the head of the family. Yeah. So the cook even takes the liberty of, scolding the children if they don't eat properly. That motherly thing is all given to the cook. So she is there so loyally working, but she knows it is not her house. She knows at some point in time she has to leave. That is the thing for all of us too. This exact situation is what it is. It is. There are many such things. Other one that Raghuramji says, I really like that. He says, especially in that bhakti bhava, it is very beautiful. He says, God has put you as a trustee here. He has all the trust that you will take care of His creation in wherever you are, including all the people and all that. So, more like a trustee. Nothing belongs. Tena tyaktena bunjita. Yeah, there's nothing. Yeah, like what Aarti said, there's nothing to do thyaga, but if at all I am sticking on to things, we have to remember tyaktena and then bunjita. And then when we relish it, it is so light and it is divine. Ishavasyam idam sarvam. So we are like trustees here. Yeah, given, okay, this. Like a trustee, work and go. Non-possession is liberating, actually. It's very free. We feel very free. And the joy is much, it cannot be compared to the small pleasures
Joy
that
of-
we get out of attachment. Huh?
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
Yeah, it is not at all the same. It is so freeing. It is so freeing. So, that's why they say, no, what is that? Nirvikalpa, not Nirvikalpa. It says Nirvana. It's a release. It's a release actually from the imagined bondage. Nothing else. It's not any new acquirement. Already there. We are apparently some bondage is there. It's a release from that. The same example I think even Rama gives to Bharata, right? In Ramayana. When Bharata comes to take Rama from the forest, Rama says, he looks at that river and there are 2 logs of wood going. He's saying, see there. There are many things that Rama says at that time. This is one of the, he says, see, for some time they are together. It is driven by the stream. Similarly, this Prakriti, the Divine Mother, is driving the entire thing. Ishvara Sarva Bhutanam Hrideshe Arjuna Tishtati Brahmayan Sarva Bhutani Yantra Rudhani Maya. With the yantra called Maya, na aati vekkaren. That's a Tamil thing, the Maya, the entire Prakriti is driven by that divine force. She is divine. She's not any evil. She is divine. Yeah. And so. But Nanda Gopa also gets to know at some point in time, I think.
At least in TV serials,
Garg-
that's how they show. We
Huh?
have to see. He probably, we'll see. We'll
Yeah.
see.
When Garga Muni comes, in Narayanian, that is when Nanda Gopa gets it.
Okay.
Let's see.
Nanda spoke with tears in his eyes and said, you have been very unfortunate. Your sons have been killed by Kamsa, and the last one was a girl child, and she too, I am told, left you and flew into the sky. Fortune, good or bad, rules the life of a man, and we are powerless in its presence. Misfortune has been your constant companion so far. Who knows, times may change. However, man who does not set any great store by the wayward ways of fortune is one who has understood the truth about the Atman, and such a man is unmoved by the vagaries of fate. How beautiful these words are, I was just thinking. So imagine someone who has actually lost so many children. How there's so much empathy in those words. There's no covering up of the truth. No, everything will be all right. God is great. There is something, this is the reason. There is some reason why, all this is happening. You should be, instead of giving, he's just talking about so objectively. We don't know, misfortune comes. All the important messages are given here. Misfortune is not there forever. Fortune will change. Times will change. We have no other choice but to accept destiny as it is. This is all truth. Nothing but the truth. The words that are coming out are all about truth only. About the impermanence of things in the world. That whatever happens, there is a larger reason, destiny, prarabdha karma, and we have no choice but to accept it. And such a man, one who knows these, is unmoved by the vagaries of fate, constantly taking one back to the reality, to how one can have the strength to face such a difficult situation. So beautifully, Nanda with empathy is speaking these words. We were just having a discussion with Raghuramji today about, and you know, the way Raghuramji speaks, whenever somebody comes and shares with him any difficulty, he will never go into saying you should do this, you should do that, why, or a very good listener, and then somehow he would bring joy, or how would I say, you'd make them touch in the present, this moment, without telling them be in the present. We were discussing how when this moment we are in pain, the trauma of the past typically will come up. If at this moment we are joyful, the trauma of the past won't come. If we are experiencing the trauma of the past for some reason, it means this moment we are not in acceptance of a situation that is happening right now. It is not at all about the past. The past has come and gone. It is an illusion. This moment, there is a lack of acceptance. And if we just accept that, the trauma of the past will also fall off automatically.
Mm-hmm.
It is just about grounding ourselves in the present, in the now, in the here, and accepting and appreciating whatever is happening. Sometimes, the word appreciation can be a little difficult to digest in such situations. But to just say there is some larger reason and just to find the peace there.
Mm-hmm. It is so beautiful because, like Raghuramji, the one who is always centered, a beautiful name for Bhagavan in Vishnu Sahasranama, it comes as Mahagarta. Yeah, Padukuri, we say, a huge pit, which, kind of like a magnet, which attracts, which makes people fall when we go into the vicinity. So when we are in the presence of such people where there is no mind at all, that at that point in time they're completely centered. Their individual, here Vasudeva is also Nanda Gopal. Yeah, Nanda Baba is, the mind is not there, no thoughts. That moment completely centered. So in the presence of such a center, it is not that Raghuramji body or anything. It is that presence which pulls this mind, which quietens this mind also, and that center, it's just because that is what is there. Bhagavan alone is. So that's the beauty of, like what she mentioned, no, Aarti, turning the attention to Atman, to the truth now here. Yeah. That is the only thing. If someone is able to, that happens in the presence of someone who is in truth, who is established in truth. So at the mental level, there can be certain things which can, the suggestions, all that works only temporarily. This is the magic of being in the presence of such presence. That's all. It is not even individual. The presence is important. So that makes the other also, it just pulls. There's no mind that works, no more thoughts. Me and mine is not there. It's not there. And the more and more and more one is recognizing that presence within, then what happens is it slips into that very easily, not giving importance to the mental thoughts and the mental blabbering. If whether I am in pain or this beautiful thing comes here, no? The man who does not set any great store by the ways of fortune has understood the truth about Atman. That's exactly that Sthita Prajna. He says, no, Dukkeshu Anudvignamana. He says, the one who does not, where the mind does not, Udvigna means what? Get too agitated when dukkha is faced. And dukkeshu anudvigna, sukeshu vigata sprihaha. So the one, even in sukha also, where there is not much of excitement and no desire to indulge in pleasure of the sukha. So the one who does not basically give importance to the mental vagaries is established in truth. That's all. Is mind true or Atman true? Constantly, this is the Ramana Bhagavan calls this as Arul Poratam. This is the Poratam, we can say fight maybe, between the mind and the grace. So always hold on to the truth. That's all. So all such presence helps someone who is for us when we are caught in this mind, just being in that. That's why they say go in the puja room and sit, cry. What are we doing there? That presence is there. It just pulls. The Mahagarta will pull us with it. Just cry out all our things, in a puja room at home, wherever we have our, temple at home. Go there, sit and cry means this is what happens. That presence brings to the truth, brings us also to the truth, make us forget the mental vagaries. The more and more we get used to this, then it is like acclimatizing in the high altitude. We get acclimatized to that. It's very beautiful. So this is then compassion, then everything comes. True love, that is when it flows through. Such a man is unmoved by vagaries of fate. It's not real for him. Does not touch.
He may cry, he may feel, but won't develop any negativity. There will be no strong negativity. It doesn't mean one does not have any emotions. Just one does not become attached to those emotions.
He clearly knows it is Prakriti.
Yeah.
There is an asanga
Some
purusha
larger play is happening. What we are seeing it as positive, negative, my dukkha, my son, it is not here. All of this, we are looking at it, but it is just one more. Like, when we see just like the 7 children here is how Ganga was as a mother. How could a mother go and drown 7 of her children constantly? Everybody is like, oh, she is a cruel monster. She's not even a mother and all that. right? But for every effect, there is some cause, there is some larger design, grand design that is going. They were nothing but the Ashtavasus who were floating around with their wives. And when they saw, Nandini at Vashishta's ashram, they tried to steal it. And then it was actually the eighth Vasu and his wife who stole it, and the others supported them. And hence they were cursed to be born on earth. And because of that, then of course they repented when they were cursed, and the others said, we didn't do anything, we were just there. But he said, you are higher beings. You should not even have supported it. You should not have let him do it. But anyway, so their punishment was, or whatever effect was needed for them, was the consequence was smaller than for the eighth, who was Bhishma. So like that, in all these cases, there are so many reasons. Everything, if you keep going, cause and effect, you see a holistic, it's a grander design. There is a reason, there is prarabdha, there is so many things. So you just accept that these are part of the world. It is we who look at it as positive. Even when a baby is just born in the womb only for a while and then is lost, it brings so much grief to the parents. But that is all its life was meant to be with those parents. That is all its Runanubandha was. So when we can, these scriptures and all give us that acceptance of the complexity of life and how to surf or wade through these complexities by not getting too lost, by getting too attached to it, and to stay as that samatvam. So now Vasudeva replied,
They say, no, one thing, Maya is very complex.
Yeah.
What we call as world, life, emotions, body, mind is all Maya. His power at play, very complex. But he is very simple. Hold on to him. And he's there within, right? The Purusha, he says, I am there within you, in your heart, whatever. We all know. We all know. Yes. So just hold on to the simple truth and let the complex life happen. That is Sharanagati, nothing else. That is what, but through Avatara, they also show, Always Swami says in Rama Avatara, if you take, he was a Sthita Prajna. He's the one, he's a jnani. Forget Avatara and all that, Even if you see him as only a human being, because that is how Valmiki has projected Sri Rama. And there is a Yoga Vasishtha, right, where Rama gets complete Upadesha from Vasishtha and Jnanopadesha, and he is established in truth from then on. He also goes through that Vishada like Arjuna, and then he is been given Upadesha by Vasishtha. Guru Upadesha happens for Rama, and after that he is established in truth. And then that entire life of that Maryada Purushottam, he is showing us how a Sthita Prajna leads a life, and it is possible for all of you. He does not show his divinity anywhere. There are very few instances. He says,
and they say he doesn't realize it also. It is Agastya who points out to him that is an Avatara Purusha in a way.
Yeah. Okay. So, he, that's Sthita Prajnatva. What does that mean? So, we will see, very beautifully the way Swami says is, it is fantastic because we do get this idea. Does that mean that, whatever happens, one is like Jadam? the body, the mind goes through all the ups and downs. The Sthita Prajna is in the Prajna. He is established in awareness. The body mind goes through. Rama cries. We see as Rama cries, but for him, he is in truth. Yeah, and in the screen, things are happening. The movie is happening. That is why, if you see, everything is Padma. If you see Narayana is the Purusha, right? From there, when the creation starts, it starts through we say the Namah Pankaja Nabhaya. The Nabhi is Pankaja. The feet is Pankaja. Eyes are Pankaja. Everything is lotus. One way of looking at it is, he's untouched. The creation, nothing touches the screen. He's there as the Purusha there. Yeah. But through that is the 9th chapter also begins like that in Bhagavad Gita. He says, I'm not in them. They are in me. There are so many things. Okay. So that Pankaja, through that Pankaja Nabhi, only Brahma comes. The creation starts. So this creative power, whatever is projected, is already detached from the Purusha. This must be taken as a medicine. Don't try to understand. Absorb, apply it when we face attachments in life. This is what Shruti Mata has given us as a medicine. It is not an intellectual exercise to understand. Then it is very difficult. We cannot understand. Because this intellect is also powerless in its presence. Here says, we are powerless in its presence. Who am I to understand the Lord's way of working? Nobody, no? So that thing must be there. So it's very.
When the question why comes up in our mind, see, all these stories are given to establish it in our mind that there is some grand design out there which is very complex, much beyond my understanding. So let me not try to figure out this why. Because trying to figure out this why is like being in the mind, trying to, while I am drowning, to figure out why am I drowning. Should I try to come out or should I try to figure out why I am drowning while I am drowning? I have to come out and be in the shore. So that is what Ramana would say. Ask yourself who is drowning. And when you are asking who is drowning, I don't say I am. If I'm asking who is feeling, who is having this emotion right now, and I don't turn and say I am having this emotion, because that also becomes a thought. It is about a pointing and saying, looking at that Bhagavan in our heart and being in that surrender mode with that Bhagavan, with Bhagavan, whoever is our Ishtadevata or the Atma, whichever is, however we want to relate to Bhagavan. To actually visualize being at the feet or being with the self, whatever. Not answering I am feeling. No. The point of that question is to be able to point to the source of all sources and to abide at his feet. That's all. We'll move on.
Yeah.
So Vasudeva replied suitably and said, my friend, do not tarry in Mathura too long. You have paid your dues to the king. I feel that there are evil omens to be seen in Gokula. It is better that you hurry back to your wife and child. Vasudeva knows everything and he is talking to Nanda. They took tender leave of each other and Nanda proceeded towards Gokula in a cart drawn by high-born bullocks. His mind was uneasy since Vasudeva had spoken of evil omens. He knew that Vasudeva would not have spoken thus unless something was threatening them. Praying to Narayana, Nanda hurried his dear bullocks and travelled towards Gokula. Kamsa thought that the time had come when he should act according to the advice of his evil mentors. He decided to begin the killing of all the newborn children in the country. He thought up methods of doing it and finally decided on the right person to execute his orders. The wife of one of his mentors went by the name of Putana, and she was a dreadful Asura woman. Kamsa summoned her to his presence and told her what he wanted her to do. Without a qualm, she agreed to do as she was bid. From that moment, she began wandering at will in the nearby cities, villages, places where people had their homes. Is it not a fact that the Asuras can show their power only in places where the praises of the Lord are not heard? Asuras can show their power only in places where the praises of the Lord are not heard. So when such is the case, how could Putana ever hope to do harm to the Lord himself, who was living in Gokula in human form? So wandering as she was at will, one day Putana, who was flying in the air, saw Gokula, and since she had not gone there yet, decided that she would go there with her powers of Maya. She changed herself into a beautiful woman and she went to the sacred spot by name Gokula. She looked around and seeing a large house where a number of women were coming and going, she entered the house. It happened to be the palace of Nanda. Putana had tied up her hair in a loose knot and had placed a wreath of jasmines in it. With her wide hips and lovely breasts, she caught the eyes of everyone there. She was indeed charming. Her hair was curly and fell in tight, light curls around her face, and the passing breeze played with it, lending charm to her face. She smiled often, and in her hand she held a lotus. The gopis thought that it was the goddess Lakshmi herself. So beautiful was Putana in her disguise. She won the hearts of the simple gopis who were all guileless. See, even if we had to relate to this with sometimes.
What?
Yeah, you want to say something?
No. You please go on.
At a very mundane level, there are people like this who are sometimes coming and talking and look so charming initially, right? Very beautifully, this curly hair. And I was also thinking how dark skin and curly hair and all was praised and in those days, no? These days it is all straight hair and white skin ulta.
No, I think again curly is
Just one.
coming back to fashion.
Yeah, again curly is coming back. Yeah.
Maybe. I see a lot of youngsters with that curls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If somebody wants to, so that's what appearance is so, what they say, outer appearance can be so
Deceptive.
deceptive. Yeah, that's the word. Thank you. So it can be so deceptive. And typically when somebody is looking very majestic, very nice, there is a automatic charm when somebody is looking good, and then there is a tendency for people to gravitate, to think they must be good based on very outer appearances, no? How they speak. It can happen. It's a very, we can say, very a surface level liking in a way. Which is what happened to Swami Vivekananda when he tried to enter that conference. He was wearing that the sannyasi's robe and they wouldn't let him in. Many are fooled by the as though outer appearance is a mark of civilization, as though outer appearance is denotion of one's culture. It cannot be, right? Just because somebody wears a suit coat and is very trimly dressed, it does nothing. It can be very deceptive. It is called grooming. That grooming itself is a very outward thing. And when one cannot generalize, but when there is too much grooming, you wonder how it is inside sometimes. No, if too much attention is given to the outer grooming, then maybe one is putting their value in that outer grooming too much, isn't it? Rather than the inner thing. Not that it is, we have to judge everybody who is looking. There can be both also sometimes. But just for Putana's sake, how beautiful she's looking, and the simple gopis who were all guiltless. We also felt like this for the British. Nice coat, suit, white skin. Even now it is happening. You go to social media, all these people, they come from Western countries, they go to our restaurant this way, they eat this, they say, and so many, they are coming and doing it, they are getting so many likes for that. And making so much money out of our likes. And somehow there is that white skin moha. They come and they praise India. We feel, aha, the white skin. Yes, still that slavery mentality is there. Oh, they are praising India now. Oh, very good, very good. They are praising India. We want as though we need validation from them.
Prabhupada ji says, no, to bring, he brought, so he transformed all those, those youngsters who had gone completely ruined. I don't remember what they are called. So they
hippies.
Yes, right. And when he comes back, after his tour, so many people were taken aback looking at so many foreigners chanting Hare Krishna mantra, and then that attracted our local. Even for spirituality, they have to do the same thing. It happens like that because so much I don't know, somehow it is just ingrained.
Yeah, we are very looking westwards. Somehow it has happened. It is
maybe slowly next to that
slowly it will come. I think it is a
slavery mentality.
Either a slavery mentality or a generational conditioning within us. I don't know.
Never know.
It has come in because if you look at all our scriptures earlier, Draupadi, the way she is described, the darker they were, it seemed to be they were very beautiful. They seem to have considered she was beautiful and all that, but somewhere
her name is also Krishna, right?
Krishna is her name. So and so something we have our eyes changed in between. The way we see beauty has changed. But anyway, beauty, again, if we are identified very strongly with the body, we will see the body. If we are identified very, very strongly with our mind, our intellect, our skills, our personality, we will be again attached to the, that is what we will see in the other. If we are strongly established in the Atman, we will see the other also as ourselves.
There is no other. Ultimate
There's no other.
Declaration of
Vasudeva
Beauty lies in the eyes of the beholder.
Huh?
That is also there. That is different.
What you said right now, na Artiji? What we sort of identify with is what we see in the other person.
Correct. Yeah,
that goes very well here because Gopikas are so You know, they are so beautiful within. They are such, just bundles of love, that's all. So they cannot see evil outside. Gopikas are like that. They cannot see. See, what was this? Guileless. Guileless is.
And there's a story when Krishna comes to Mathura, there is that deformed woman. What was
Yeah.
her name?
Trivakra.
Kubja.
Kubja, yeah. They also call her Trivakra because three Vakras was there, it seems. He puts that chin and, yeah, Kubja. This, the following thing is very beautiful. We will look at that shloka. It's a very beautiful shloka. As she enters the house of Nanda, how she approaches. We will read this once and then see that shloka.
So she entered the house of Nanda and reached the courtyard where the Lord was. He had concealed all his glory in the form of a small child, and he was like a live coal covered with ashes. It was by chance that Putana saw this beautiful child in the cradle. As soon as she set foot in the courtyard, the child closed his eyes. Perhaps the Lord knew that she would be blessed with his grace if his eyes fell on her. And that would indeed be a hindrance to his self-appointed task, destroying the wicked and protecting the good, for which purpose he had been born. Putana looked all around her. It so happened that no one was about. She lifted the child from the cradle, taking him in her arms. She sat down and placed him on her lap. It was as foolish as taking a live cobra which is sleeping and placing it on your neck, thinking that it is just a piece of string. So she sat there. The maids and others who were passing by did not pay any attention to the stranger who was having the child on her lap. They were so overcome by her beauty and apparent charm that they did not attach any importance to her actions. Putana then loosened
We
the
will
knot
pause
which
here,
had...
Aarti. We'll pause here.
Okay.
This is these two, it covers a beautiful shloka basically. Vibudhyatam balakam arikagraham characharatma sanimilitekshana. I don't know if you have heard anybody's Srimad Bhagavatam. You would have heard this sentence again and again. That is what here Krishna, also the author also mentioned that Krishna closes, the baby closes his eyes. Characharatma, the Atman, that is there in the moving and the unmoving. Charachara. Characharatma. Nimilitekshana. He closes his eyes. So there are many vyakhyana we say, right? For why Bhagavan closes his eyes. So one thing that here also, the author has mentioned that, it is not yet time for him to give that Diksha. What is that? Nayana Diksha to Putana. Redemption, not yet time. So he closes. Okay, she has to wait. Or the very first thing is, though she looks so beautiful from outside, inside is filled with all that, desires and kama, krodha, lobha, everything, mada. So Krishna, the Characharatma is unable to see her. So he closes his eyes. Yeah. And the Lord's eyes are the sun and the moon, right? The Purusha Shuktam says it is the sun and the moon. So he says, why in creation did we even bring up such jivas, lightening up or illumining such jivas. So thinking that Krishna closes his eyes, as a characharatma nimilitekshana. And then he closes his eyes and he's thinking, but anyway, she's going to now touch me. Anybody who touches me will get redeemed. How to redeem her? So he's thinking, so he closes his eyes. And then there is one more thing very beautiful. He is closing his eyes. Now she has come with that poison filled milk and she's going to give that to me. I have to drink. How to drink poison, only one can teach me. Who has drank poison?
Shiva.
Shiva. So Nilakanta, he goes to Kailasha, he closes his eyes and he goes there and say, "Oh Lord Shiva, please tell me how to drink this poison." Characharatma Nimilitekshana. So Shiva says, it seems, no, don't drink it fully, keep it here. That's all additions that we can add. So with so many things, he closes his eyes. Krishna is now thinking how to redeem this Jiva who is caught up. How to redeem her who is caught up. And they say later it will come. So now another thing is here, Suptam Abuddhihi Rajjudhihi. So like we always know this rope and snake example in the Vedanta, right? Where it is only the snake, which is a rope which is there, but because of ignorance, there is an imagination that there is a snake. This is just the opposite. Putana doesn't realize that what she thinks she's carrying a rope, Rajju, but actually she's carrying a poisonous snake. So she doesn't realize when we don't realize the power of Divine Mother, of Maya, this is how we are. We are playing with her. In life, when my arrogance is so high, I think I can do things on my own and I take it to my own ego. That is where I think it is just a rope. But she is a snake. That is when Divine Mother becomes a venomous snake. Finally, redemption only happens. Finally, it is the compassion of the Lord. All that is different. But when there is arrogance, when the work or whatever we are in is driven by this ego, thinking, oh, there is no power beyond, then I am taking it very lightly. I am taking that which is actually a snake as a rope. That is what Putana is doing here. Her own death actually. Now she doesn't know, she has no idea. She's just thinking it's a small child who I can kill with the poison that I have come with. And she's taking. So beautiful. Yatoragam, that's what it says. Suptam Abuddhi. The one who has no buddhi only will look at a snake and think it is a rope. With no buddhi. Yeah.
So Putana then loosened the knot which held her blouse tight, and with the child on her lap, she put his lips to her breast, which was filled with poisoned milk. The Lord held her breast firmly in his two little hands and began to suck. After a few seconds, she realized that he was sucking her very life. She was in great pain and all her vitals were tortured when he sucked at her breast. She began to scream. Her purpose was all forgotten. Leave me, she kept on saying. And she tried to pluck her breast away from the mouth of the child, but it was no avail. She shrieked in agony, and the earth, the sky, even the planets shook in response. So loud was her pain-filled voice. People thought that there was a thunderbolt which had fallen on the earth somewhere. With a last cry of agony, Putana lost her life. It is
this.
Go ahead.
Yeah, no, just this. This also they say, it was very beautiful. Leave me. So Krishna was thinking, right, how to redeem this Jiva. So this gave him that lead. Yeah. Munja, just leave me. So at some point in time, I have to say, oh, this grip of this mind that we call as Maya, leave me. Enough of this bhava. Then that comes, then we are at his feet. So she's saying, leave me. So that becomes one call of the Lord. So the Lord takes her. She's not saying, leave me to the Lord.
We attach.
Huh?
But initially to the world we attach. And then it holds on to us. It has a strong hold on to us. Even if we want to leave it, we are not able to leave it. because the world is holding on to us now. So this leave me, leave me, leave me, then only Krishna, Bhagwan can come to the help. When we say enough, now leave me, oh world, leave me.
Yeah, we have taken
It is
the
also
snake, no?
vasanas.
We have taken the snake and put on us, right? All the desires in the name of running after something, I don't know, whatever, delusion because of avidya. Taken the snake and put on ourselves. So now only he can rescue. So leave me, leave me. We must clearly know that enough of this. That is Vairagya. Only when that comes, he will come. Otherwise,
See, that is very important because many times, even past trauma, we hold on to it. There is some pleasure we are seeking out of it. Some it is very subtle. That is, I don't want to let it go. Because somewhere I am feeling powerful. I'll tell you how. Because of that, I can scold others. I can blame others. I can try and control others. It gives me a false sense of power. That hurt I'm having, and I am having that hurt on some other person, and somewhere it is very illusory. Okay, it is not really there. But in my mind, by blaming that person, by finding fault with that person, there is some pleasure I am getting.
so the ego is strengthened, right? My own
The ego
self-image
is strengthened. It is very counterintuitive, but this happens if you observe very subtly. I will bicker on that other person. You are like this, that is why I am like this. You do this, that is why I am like this. Because you don't act like this, that is why I am like that. If that other person is different, then I will be better. So somewhere that sense of there is that control, no, I have over that other person by finding fault with them, by telling them, I start enjoying it. And I don't want to let go of it. Because to let go of it means I don't have that control over that person, which means there is no attachment. I am enjoying that power of control. Where sometimes I make that person feel bad because they've made me feel bad. I'm not putting it may sound it may not be like this, or it can simply be that it is the other person's fault. They have to change. I don't have to take responsibility. When there is blame, we must reflect on this part that we just spoke. When there is blame, when there is expectation from the other, when we are trying to change the outside situation to suit my needs, in all of this, we must do this very deep reflection. It's very subtle, that pleasure that we get out of trying to control the world. We feel powerful from that somehow, but that is not true power. That is very empty power. We are hurting ourselves in that whole process. What
is the root cause? What is the root thing which is there here? What is telling power? It is my self-image, right? Yeah, it is my own self-image. So this leave me is when I clearly know that the pain is because of holding on to my self-image. It is not anything in the world. It is not anything outside. Enough of this ego. Enough of this limited identity. This is what is Karpanya dosha, as Bhagavad Gita says. What is Karpanya dosha? Kripana. I'm being very miserly, thinking that this Bala is me, which has no existence. So that holding on to that self-image is the problem. Like this, whatever, all expectation, hopes, whatever we have, which is pointing to the other. It is this ego here. Which wants to control everything. It is this ego here. So all that we need to know is this ego is non-existent. It is just a imaginary connection, a thought, imaginary thought. That's why it's called granthi. It's that knots the body, and there is no real. It cannot knot. But I am thinking I am this limitation called body and mind. So leave me means I tell this imaginary ego to just get out. Enough of this nonsense. I don't want you again. As long as we keep feeding it, nourishing it, Krishna is there in our hearts as a witness, silent witness, seeing, okay, play. Just like that beautiful katha which Ramakrishna says, right? A child which is, playing in the park. The child is playing in the park for a very long time. The mother is continuing her work. Child is all right. After some time, the child gets a little hungry and then calls out. And then the mother comes, gives something. That's how, Krishna gives something. The Divine Mother gives something for us, to empower this self-image. Some pleasure in the life, some chocolate, something. So like that, the child cries a little and then the mother comes and gives. Then the child forgets it, eats, and again continues to play. Then the child becomes very sleepy. The child is extremely hungry. And the child wants only mother. The child doesn't want anybody else. The child cries out saying, I want only you. Now the child knows nothing else can rescue the child. So that must be only, that is that munja, leave me. Truly, it must come from the realization that all pain, all suffering is because of this ego alone and ego alone. This imaginary jiva bhava, whatever we call it. Hridaya Granthi, all these are same. Ramana Bhagwan has put all this the same. He simplified everything. He says, don't break your head with what is that, what is this. Everything. He says, Jada udal naan innadu satchittu udiyadu. So the Jada body will not say I. The Satchit Ananda, which is there, is not going to rise and tell I. Udal alavam idayil ondrudikum. There arises something in between the two, which we call as all these. He says, ondrudikum. So it's called Chitjada Granthi, Ahankara, Jiva, Sukshma Sharira, Manam, everything. He just put everything as the same. He said it's all the same. Don't try and understand, find out, define. It's not necessary for someone who is a mumukshu. For someone who wants to know, that is different. So all these are the same. Know this and clearly know that is the problem. And cry out, leave me, leave me. Then we are in his lap. Or we will know that presence. Yeah.
We close. It's time.
Yeah. 7:20. How much is there? Is it over? Then you just finish reading and that's all, no? Yeah, just finish it.
No, we'll go through it, no?
Okay.
Om. Asato ma sadgamaya, tamaso ma jyotirgamaya, mrityorma amritam gamaya, sarve bhavantu sukhinah, सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः, सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु, मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत्. ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः. हरिः ओम्. श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः. हरिः ओम्.